I'm a local director. Recently we released the film EATER, which we filmed right here in Bangor, for a miraculous budget of $100 we spent, which I will openly admit, mostly gas money. We just released the film on DVD. We've had quite a bit of success compared to what we originally thought we were going to do. Everyone seems to be very open with it, and they enjoy it. Word of mouth has gotten out, thanks to WKIT radio station featuring Dave Isaac, who's in the film. That's never a bad thing as far as promotion goes. One of the big selling points is that we use all practical effects in our productions. We will not use CGI gore. There's no reason for it. We all grew up on classic 80s, 70s horror, and why spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do something on a computer when it will only take you $5 or $10 to do it in real life? And it looks better. Your eyes immediately know when you see something that's computer animated. If you're doing a dinosaur or something like that, good for you. But if you're taking a woman and cutting her in half, or severing a man's fingers, there's no reason why you can't do it practically and have it done there. And it's more fun. It is more fun than just slipping over green screen fingers and then doing it later in post.
I've seen a lot of gunshot instead of squibs using just CG blood. And that, I've seen a mile away.
I remember being 10 years old and filling up a condom full of fake blood, using pressure, putting it on you, cut a hole in your shirt, fishing line, and a washer, having someone pull it off screen. I prefer that than to see these pixelated blood spackles that you're just like, obviously they got a cool computer program and they wanted to test it out. There's a little bit of showmanship when you do something practically too. And my belief is restrictions make you more creative. If you have all this money to throw at something, I'd rather spend thousands and thousands of dollars making 10 or 15 movies for $100 than waste it on something that someone's probably not even going to give you appreciation for when it really comes down to it.
I'm also local, formerly Bangor, now Orono, and I totally agree with CGI. Have you ever seen a movie on the Sci-Fi Channel or any of the Sharknado movies? I'd rather not spend all the effects on a budget of computer video gaming graphics. I'm from the Tom Savini School of Special Effects Maker.
Misdirection is always a good thing. If you can make someone look somewhere else and do something behind the scenes, it always comes out. That's very much a Tom Savini kind of way. And I know I'm a little bit younger than Bill. I was lucky to grow up during the DVD generation, and the miraculous thing about that is special features on a DVD. I learned from Day of the Dead, Return of the Living Dead, anything, how they did an effect. And we put this movie together. I've had no film school experience. I went from high school to making movies. And I've read as many books as I could on the subject, and the one thing they tell you, don't waste money on film school. Go out and shoot your own projects. Because, you can say you have a film degree, but unless you have films to back it up, it doesn't mean squat. And we're in firm belief of that. We want to make 2 to 3 projects at least for a year. We're working on the sequel this summer, which will be half crowdfunded, and we match the crowdfunding with our own funds. So,
I was going to add the Make Your Own Damn Movie by Lloyd Kaufman.
Any Trauma fans out there? Great.
Great book series. He's got Make Your Own Damn Movie, Direct Your Own Damn Movie,
Produce your own,
and Sell Your Own Damn Movie. And they're all worth reading.
And we are very much in that same style of saving money. And it's not because we're cheap, it's just because money can be spent elsewhere. A lot of the actors in the original EATER, most every actor, wasn't paid. They donated their time because they wanted to be a part of the project. And our mantra is, if you don't want to be there, then don't be there. If you're going to be there thinking that you're going to get a big paycheck, you're probably not. and you're probably going to have an attitude on set. We all get together like we're family and we're friends. And the way that we can communicate with each other is very important, especially making a low-budget film. You can't be bossing everyone around. You got to treat everyone as their equal. And people respond to that and they respect that. You want to open up the floor for questions?
Sure.
Yeah. Any questions you can think of, be glad to answer.
It's kind of hard to do if they haven't seen the movie.
I know. They scheduled this kind of
What
ass
locations
backward.
did you use?
What locations? One of the main ones we used was the former Mainly Meet on Maine in Ellsworth, which was downtown Ellsworth. Actually, we were filming a scene out there where two characters, he's down on his knees begging for his life, and that gentleman right there has a gun pointed to his head. Ellsworth PD came by that night. Obviously saw film lights and everything, and we were on. We had permission to be on the property, so everything went good. The only thing that was bad about that was that damn street sweeper.
Every 15 minutes.
It's like a Zamboni driving by.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
It
Like, how
was.
long can you actually... This went on for 4 hours.
Yeah. So normally
I mean-
it's
They got the cleanest streets in Ellsworth.
right. Normally it's like wait for plane, wait for this, wait for street
Yep,
sweeper.
yeah, it's clouds, whatever,
Just
yeah.
about everything else was in Bangor.
Yeah, about everything else was in Bangor. We used a house in Hamden, and we used it as, I think, 4 different locations we used that house for. Obviously, that's the thing, too, when you're making a movie. You might know a location is the same thing, but everyone else doesn't. You want to use a corner of a room and shoot on the opposite end of that room, no one knows that they're connected, unless you do a 360 pan. So that's another misdirection that we're really good at. Yeah, right in Bangor and Brewer. I think we doubled the crack house on Court Street for basement in Brewer. Court Street came in handy for our film, especially the scene when you're going back with Danielle.
Was that Brewer?
That was Bangor. That's Bangor.
Right, what was the Brewer part?
Brewer was the basement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Opie's house.
Fair enough.
So were most of the locations like friends or cast members that you were...
Very much so, yeah, very much so. We shot downtown, Bangor.
Yeah, there was one scene downtown Bangor where we, well, more than one scene, where we walked into an establishment. Would you like to finish?
You can finish that story.
Yeah, guerrilla filmmaking at its finest. Point the camera and shoot, walk into that building across the street, and then walk right back out again. Who owns it? I don't know. Go ahead.
We thought it was going to be locked, and the door just happens to be open. So, and we ended up cutting that together with a shot that we shot 3 weeks earlier
Apartment.
in the apartment. And another, beautiful thing about filmmaking, you don't know the outside of a house compared to the inside of a house. And that comes in handy too, especially if you lose a location, you can't get to a location in time, you can cheat it.
And don't forget the office.
The office.
The elevator.
Yeah, the elevator. Smallest elevator in Bangor, I think. Yeah. He goes to a hypnotherapist in the movie, because obviously when you're a sleep eater, maybe you can get hypnotized to think, change your eating behaviors.
Don't give too much.
I will not. But yeah, we crammed ourselves in that small elevator.
2 people in that elevator was more than enough. Well, one really big fat guy and a normal person was more than enough for that elevator. And we rode it up and down while filming,
Right.
and hoping nobody else would have to get on that elevator. It was
Yeah,
some random place.
We
in
would have just
Bangor.
asked them for a release, probably. I don't know. We got a free pizza guy in a shot that he's walking, crosswalking Bangor. Pizza guy comes by. That was a big production value thing that we paid for. Any other questions? Any questions? I'm not afraid.
What kind of cost?
This is my first official film that I will call my first official film. I grew up maybe 12, 13 years old making backyard movies. And the good thing about, almost like I said about film school, is if you're not making your stuff, you can't approve. You can't say that, oh, I'm going to go out and make the big movie that's going to be the hit of the year. You can't have that, because unless you failed, you can't succeed. So every little step, whether it be backyard filmmaking, getting into high school, making student films, helping with college and student films there, I've learned everything that I possibly can, what not to do. And it's basically any job learning experience that you would think of. Until you actually do it, then you don't know. So you can't have this attitude that you're Mr. Big Director until you've actually done it and have stuff to show.
It is not my first film, though.
No, Bill's been around for a while.
Been around the block. Mostly shot on video, B horror movies like, let's see, Truth or Dare, the sequels to those, Dirty Cop, No Donut, Creep, Scary Tales.
Girls Gone Dead.
Girls
Anyone
Gone
seen
Dead, yeah,
Girls
that
Gone
was
Dead?
just on,
I saw that one.
yeah,
He's in that.
directed by my best man, Michael Hoffman.
He was actually a zombie in the original Day of the Dead as well.
I was 15. I was smiling. I don't count that as a true acting gig. Yeah.
Do we have any interested filmmakers or actors in the room? We have a sign-up sheet right on our Cemetery Theater booth, and if we welcome everyone to come join and work on a project, whether you just want to stand around and watch and film something, that's fine by us. We just want to get the community involved in film. There's no reason why Bangor can't be a place that we can make movies. We don't have to be in Hollywood. You got a camera, get your friends together, make something. Don't make excuses, make movies. Because, unless you do it now, when are you? So yeah, feel free to come by the table, sign up, give us your name, email, and you'll be contacted because we're making that sequel this summer. So
You take older actors?
we love older actors.
Okay.
Love older actors. We love people with great faces, as I say. Great faces.
As far as your scripting process,
Mm-hmm.
can you go into a little bit of how your scripting process for you personally works out for you?
I think of a lot of stuff in my head. I'll work things out in my head, and then I'll go right to the laptop and start writing it down. And for me, writing, I can't have distractions. I can't have anything going on or anyone talking to me. I get sucked into this almost matrix world, and once I leave, it takes me a while to get back into it. I'm not going to say I feel the emotions that the characters do, because I don't, but one of the biggest things that are for me is good dialogue, especially when you're making a low-budget movie. If you don't have something witty or that's funny or it makes sense and gives a little hint to the plot, then you can't make up with that just with gore. You got to have good acting, which I've been lucky with Bill, I've been lucky with Jason, everyone involved in the film. There's legitimate good acting in the film. And I think that's one of the things that surprises people when they watch it is, there's a few scenes of actual emotion involved, which is good when you have levity, because you got the gore, you have a little bit of humor, and then we pull out some emotional scenes, and you're just like, holy shit, these guys are really into this.
Get emotional now.
I don't know. Now, where's your table located again?
It's, I don't know what the
I probably walk right by it.
It's where all the old men sit.
No country for old men. We are,
Should be no animosity that
do you
way,
know
and that's
where-
what's good about other directors and creators, is that we can all get along and work towards something big, because, one of the big things about this movie, and I talk about it on the commentary, is I love Bangor. I was born and raised here, and, as many issues as someone might have with Bangor, there's 100 more positive things. And unless you bring that positivity to a town, that we should have more art in Bangor. There's no reason why we can't be as artistic as Portland tries to be. We have a lot of talented people around. It makes me feel good knowing the way that everything is evolving, whether it be filmmaking, whether it be artists or anything like that, opening up centers so you can display your work. We've come a long way. Technology has helped that, but also open-mindedness of people. And they can watch something and not be so offended, and they can get it, and understand the hard work that went into it.
Do you storyboard your special effects beforehand, or do you kind
I
of say,
don't-
this is what I want to do, and this is where I put the camera, this is how we should work it? Do you have a special effects person who does?
I will be honest. Myself, and Jennifer Weston did the effects on the film. Like I said, growing up, I never had any, schooling for it. DVD special features taught me a lot, and just going out, and we have a scene where there's a character that loses limbs. We basically have tubing going up through the sleeve and big syringes off camera, and it came out perfect.
What he's saying is no, but he has it in his mind.
No, yeah, we don't script it or storyboard or anything. I draw like 5-year-old with big crayons, so if I drew something and went back to it, I'd be like, I don't know what the hell that is.
But you have your vision, and you know
I
what
do
you
get-
damn well want.
Do you think it's better to do it on the cuff there as you're doing it, or do you think it's better to plan it ahead of time of what you want to do? Would you prefer to have the time to be able to say, yeah, I'd love to do, the fake arm part so the tubing can run up there so we can get a really close, view of that hand as its fingers are severed.
Right.
You kind of look back and go, yeah, I'd like to do that instead of the
Oh, hell yeah.
shepping it,
Hell yeah, hell
There's
yeah.
gotta be a lot of prep, too. You
Yeah.
gotta think about this.
Yeah, I love more time. The thing is, we shot this film in 30 days, and we all have, we go to school full-time jobs. I have a child, so arranging, yeah, he is 3. We arrange around everyone's schedule, and hell yeah, I would love the time to actually plan everything out. Sometimes you don't have it, and I know for the sequel we're gonna have more prep time. This is gonna be a bigger production, a lot more actors, biggest cast we've ever had. And we have actors coming up from Southern Maine, Boston, that have already wanted to be in the film. And a lot of the times too, we wrote, I wrote Sleep Eater, and it was supposed to be a 5-minute short film for Bangor Fest. And that 5-minute short film turned into a 30-minute short film because the cast just expanded. And whether it be like doing scenes on the cuff, like between you and Dave Isaac in the park,
Totally ad-lib.
totally ad-libbed, no script. We filmed a couple different endings for the film.
I was wondering if you were going to get into that.
Oh yeah. Bill came up with, which I will give him credit for, he came up with a very Cemetery Theater-esque, as I call Tales from the Crypt, twist ending for the film, which fits us perfectly. Because we love that old comeuppance, so to speak, of characters that deserve something that they might not necessarily get in another film. Would you like to give that away?
I don't want to give much away. Do you want to talk about the original ending? Or did you want to...
Oh, the original ending never happened because that was shameful.
That wasn't sure.
I like making Bill run. I do. Whether it be up a hill, from a van, down a back alley,
Downtown Bangor.
I just like making Bill run. And I love spraying Jason Tripp with blood.
Good times, my friend.
Good times.
Oh yeah, no, we look forward to much more of that.
I used to be...
And Bill's running.
Yeah,
We all love it when Bill runs.
right? You got that permanent tan now.
I know, forever.
So it works out for both of us.
I will openly admit it's fun for me to torture my friends in films. But they're game for it, and they understand what's trying to be accomplished. They know that it's not anything inspired or anything like that.
Mostly.
Mostly.
Yep.
But that's what I mean. Like, I met Bill. We worked on a movie. I met Jason, which actually our audition was at a Dunkin' Donuts
In Bucksport.
in Bucksport. It was, and the camaraderie and the friendships that are made on a film set. If you've never been on a film set, you become close with the people that you're working with, actors, everyone else, and even so much that you might have made a little film 5 years before, and you're still on Facebook being like, oh my God, how are you doing? How are you doing? I got this project, and that's what's good about the film community, especially in a state like Maine where it's seldom than not.
Well, we connect. We're really, really big horror fans.
Huge.
And we connected immediately. Oh, did you ever see this? And he goes, oh yeah, who directed this? And I say, oh, this. And right then and there, we knew we clicked.
That's a good thing about having a fellow horror fan is you can reference movies, whether it be Society, movies that necessarily not everyone off the street would know, but
Brian Yuzna, right?
Brian Yuzna, yeah. That's how geeky we are right now. But it gives a good frame of reference, especially if someone knows what you're talking about. Then they can add a little bit to their performance, and they finally get it. If you're, I try to, which I guess is a strong suit. I try to explain things to my actors before. We have a scene where it's very bloody and messy. There's a lot of food, and we shot that in 3 different takes, doing the close-ups of the faces, which are great, and then we did almost like a rehearsed dance move where one person goes, next person goes. We did the mids, and then at the end of it was an all-out 360 degrees, me shouting off camera direction, and probably one of the best scenes I've ever done in my life. And I'm very, very, very excited to see people react to it, because I even watch it and go, did I really just make that? Like, it's almost like you went to sleep, you woke up and be like, what the fuck happened?
I will say that the reaction that I give is natural in that scene. You'll see it.
Yeah. There's a certain food that Bill grew up eating every day, almost, maybe. And I did not know that, and I put him in a situation where he had to be around it. Serendipitously, his performance came out pretty realistic.
Yeah, the screams are real.
Screams are real. The Shatner screams, as we call them.
That's right. Oh, no, please.
No!
That's not the acting.
I'm actually in the film too. I love to do cameos. I play a crackhead.
Play the best crackhead I've ever seen.
Right? With a little bit weird, like Sean Penn from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I don't know where it came from. I don't know, but
It's party.
yeah. Hey man. But it was a lot of fun, and I think once you see the movie and you watch the special features in the documentary, you'll realize the fun everyone had on it and how everyone got along, and we even show you how we do most of the effects in the film, which is really cool because I want to give that back in the same way that I received it growing up. And I think it hits a little bit more home when it's from Bangor, and we can go out to Lowe's and get some tubing or get a mattress and cut a girl in half. So definitely, if you're interested, come on by the booth and pick up a copy, or wait for the screening that is days to happen at some point. So that's how it's split up on my editor, and I think it was about 7-8 days altogether. And that's why we, when you work a full-time job, you have kids, you can't work a week straight. You got to pay the bills. So it added up to about 7 or 8 days. And yeah, a lot of night shoots. Yeah.
A lot of happy accidents, too.
Yeah, a lot of happy accidents. I'm trying to think of a few of them. Can you?
How much footage do you shoot in comparison to get your movie?
I like to do multiple takes. Even if I get a shot that I love to do a take afterwards. Because things happen organically that you don't plan for. And unless you're ready to capture that, like, I worked on a film in the past where the director and I was being the AD, the assistant director, and he just wanted 1 or 2 takes. And I kept pushing him. I'm like, no, let's keep going, let's see what we can get. Especially if it's a scene where someone's yelling or something like that, It's almost like the actor will get frustrated in a way where I remember growing up and I filmed a scene and I used my sister as the role. And she wasn't an actor. She never acted in her life. And I was like, I need you to act like you're really nervous. Like she was driving and someone was following her. Because she was my sister and I was young, I think I was like 16, I put tacks in the car seat. And I was like, every time you sit down, you're gonna get tacks in your ass. So you're not gonna want to sit down all the way. And what did she do? it worked out perfectly. And anytime you can, what's the word, persuade an actor.
Oh, I was gonna say torture.
Yeah, torture.
Cattle prod?
Cattle prods are amazing, and they should be brought back. Anytime you can persuade an actor to give you a little bit of realistic feeling with their role, it's always good. It reads. And as far as performances go, we were talking about this earlier. Someone you can meet in person, and they can have a great presence. And you're like, oh, this person would be great in a movie. But until you put them on camera, you never know. A person could have amazing presence and, looking at them, but they could come off like that on the camera. No emotion. So we like to do a lot of...
I saw Twilight.
You saw Twilight?
Are you okay?
I like Lost Boys. Those are my vampires.
That is an
Yeah.
awesome film.
Near Dark.
Yeah, Near Dark too. Bill Pullman as a vampire.
No, Bill
Oh.
Paxton.
Ah!
Ooh, classic.
That hurt. He was right. But yeah, fuck that sparkly shirt. Any other questions?
I fell into like brain damage, deadly friend,
Right?
you know.
Brain damage. Frank Henenlotter with the little friend that was played by Zachary that lived in the guy's head. Deadly Friend, Wes Craven, nice. Yeah, that's my era. 80s.
That's my area.
I was born in '86, but I caught up. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anyone watch The Walking Dead? Who do you think Negan killed? Agree. I think they're fucking with us. I think they're trying to say that they can kill him. Sorry for everyone that's not caught up. Spoiler alert.
It's gonna end up being Eugene.
I think so.
That's what I thought
I
it
hope
was.
not.
It worries me because I really like Eugene, but he has now given Rick his knowledge to making the bullets, so
And they
he's
all-
useless right
And
now.
they all said goodbye to him when he was
They did.
leaving in the RV.
I was hoping
So-
to take off with Abraham and get like in a road trip, buddy movie, spin-off.
Anyone else feel like Race with the Devil at the end when the lights
Yeah,
came on?
yeah.
And the RV's sitting there, I'm like, this is like Race with the Devil. We answer personal questions as well.
Who does your hair, man?
Mine?
Mine or his?
It's like the South that just recedes and recedes and recedes. Apparently I have a bald spot in the back no one told me about.
Can't see it from your perspective, so
No.
we didn't think you'd care.
I do.
Oh.
It's like a coaster back there. I'm only 30 years old. I guess making movies does make you lose your hair. Pretty stressed out.
Now, do you listen to your actors when a scene is coming up?
No.
And they're like, what about trying it this way? And you're just like, well,
I love it.
you know,
I love suggestion.
And will you go with it? Or, yeah, that's a great suggestion. Now let's go here.
Oh yeah. I'm the first person to be critical of myself, and I know that I'm not perfect, and that not all my ideas are going to be the ones that should be used.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the main rules when you're directing a movie. You can't just go out, especially if you have something scripted, be like, I wrote this, and this is what we're going to do, and this is how it's going to work.
But
'Cause
that's reality for a lot of projects.
right, and that's sad, because
And it is-
it really shouldn't be like that, because it's art.
Yeah, it's supposed to be creative, not static.
Exactly.
I thought this up and now I've stopped.
Right.
This is as far as I can possibly go.
Right, exactly.
And
you're not
that's-
gonna, some of the best things happen by accident. And unless you're willing to open your mind, open the universe a little bit, then you're not gonna really get a good performance. And you're probably gonna get a pretty boring movie because, without suggestion, there's no reason to have the actors around you other than just be stick puppets. And that's not what an actor is. They're there to put their own 2 cents and their own personality into a role. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Yes, sir. What's my favorite horror movie? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Favorite part about making a film?
Oh, favorite part. Let's see. I like the gore. That's a guilty pleasure for me. I like doing the gore stuff. If I gross myself out, then I know I've accomplished something. I like anything that's cut together or montagey. That's always fun because you can kind of have a hoot with it. We filmed some scenes towards the end of Sleep Eater where it almost genre bends into like a classic noir movie. And watching that stuff is something that I'm proud of because, I didn't expect it to happen that way, and it just creates a mood that is perfect for towards the end of the film. Shit gets real, to say the least.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, go ahead, go.
My favorite horror movie? It really is a cross between Return of the Living Dead and Pet Sematary.
Dawn of the Dead, 1978.
He's a little OG than me, but Pet Sematary is just an amazing movie. It's basically the monkey paw story. Obviously, there's connections to Maine in it, which I love. But just growing up, I think in 20, 30 years, that's going to be looked back as a classic horror film, and it's timeless. That movie could exist in any time period, anytime, and it would make sense. As far as Return of the Living Dead, that's the punk rock, FU zombie movie that I grew up watching. And while I appreciate Romero and everything that he's done, because I learned a lot from Romero, whether it be getting coverage to save your ass or anything else, I reacted to Return of the Living Dead growing up. It's got everything that I want in it, and the three things: blood, boobs, and beasts. Which, producers will tell you that sells a movie, but as a viewer, you can't get anything better than that. So.
And my other one is Jaws, because it scared the crap out of me in the theater.
We need a big boat.
So have you fanboyed on?
I have not yet. I haven't been able to get out of the booth. I was gonna give
Since
her.
you're the Pet Sematary fan, how's that feel to see her walking around?
It's kind of weird. I've met celebrities in the past, and I know that if you there's a certain way to act around them. To me, I worked on a film with a special effects artist, Tom Devlin. He was on Face Off season 1, and I watched so many of his movies, and I realized that people react to you better if you kind of treat them like you grew up with them. Whether it be having your friend go over there, take pictures of you behind them. There's some embarrassing photos of me behind Tom, but just being like, why are you such an asshole? Just messing with them and not being. I don't know if she would react the same way, but you have to. You can't act like
You can't go up and fart on her
right now,
and laugh.
right?
But at the same time, you can't.
Your friends and my friends are different, Bill. I don't fart on my friends.
You only knew.
But it's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. But I think I'm gonna if I can catch her tomorrow, I'll give her a copy of Sleep Eater.
That's what I do. I fart on celebrities as a pastime.
It's a YouTube channel apparently. But yeah, because the ending of the film, the way it's cut is there's a wink to Pet Sematary in it. So I'd like her just to watch it and know that it exists. And we made it in Ellsworth where they filmed Pet Sematary. So it's almost like almost 20 years, 26, 25 years later. I think they filmed it in 1990, 1991.
80-something.
89. Same year, Night of the Living Dead remake, which is amazing, by the way. I love Night of the Living Dead remake. Tom Savini did a great job.
I agree.
I like that better than the original. I know horror people will shame me for that, but the remake is better than the original to me. I like it, Bill.
Okay.
Some people like pepperoni pizza. I like mushroom.
The other question that I had was, the Escape from Jesus Island
Mhm.
guys, they did a panel on writing horror in a PC environment. How are you dealing with the PC environment, trying to produce the projects that you want to produce and not, incur, I guess, that type of blowback
Right.
from communities and things like that, because communities in Maine, as you know, are extremely tight-knit.
Oh, yes.
And if something is portrayed negatively in their community, it can go very bad for the people who create that, I don't know, inequity or whatever, but it's, how do you kind of deal with?
Sean writes PC.
No,
First of all,
yeah.
did you know, are you aware he made a movie
Sean,
called The Wrong House?
No.
Sean is, that's why I was assuming that he would be up here with us. He made a film called The Wrong House, but
And Amish Devil.
and Amish Devil we worked on
You did
together.
mention, yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah. My take on it is, in my personal life, I'm a very friendly, nice guy. I go out of my way to say excuse me, and I was brought up to have manners and everything. But if I make a project and you're offended by it, don't watch it. It wasn't for you. It just wasn't for you. And you need to be accepting to the fact that there are people out there that will enjoy it. Whether it be, your sexual orientation, anything that you do in your life, if it doesn't involve someone else, just accept the fact that there's other people out there that like that. And I think if you come after a filmmaker or a cast and blame them for, messing up their child's mind or anything like that, they've been doing that since the old comics came out. They've been blaming that for, juvenile everything. So, everyone's going to find something to blame, whether it's portraying a community bad. I don't think we portray Bangor bad in the film. If you think that there's a lot of sleep eaters in Bangor, which I am one, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there. 7% of the population sleepy. And
There's always someone offended by something.
yeah, you're never going to make everyone happy because we're all so diverse. So as long as we can accept and move on, but I will never ever filter myself.
I tell you, Peter would hate this movie.
No, Peter would hate this movie, but I will never ever filter myself in fear that it might offend someone. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because what's the point of doing art if you're being safe? That's like saying, oh, well, I want to make this big photo, but I only have this half a canvas. So you got to expand it. And I mean, I will say as a parent, knowing that there's, things that might offend, if I was like, oh, well, I would never let my daughter watch this. But I grew up, 7, 8 years old, I saw the original Shining. Maybe that's what fucked me up so much. But, I came out pretty good, very creative. But no, it doesn't stop me from doing what I think is right. I will say the scene I filmed in Amish Devil, where I play a very bad person. Actually, Bill is one of my cohorts in the scene, and that was probably the toughest scene for me to watch because I'm basically taking advantage of one of the main characters on the side of the road in an apocalyptic type movie. And it's hard to watch, but watching other people watch it and knowing that it came across the way it was supposed to becomes accepting to me. And I'm just like, some actors don't watch their stuff because they can't. I love to watch myself. Maybe I'm narcissistic. You like to watch yourself?
I hate watching myself. But, I mean, people like Dan Hess, not Dan Hess, oh my gosh.
Oh, you messed up a name. Bill Paxton, Bill Pullman.
Yeah. Anyway, David Hess, the actor from, he's passed now, from Last House on the Left, he got typecast in these horrible roles, and he's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And I asked him about that. I'm saying, isn't it hard for you to see yourself, like, doing these roles? And he said, yeah, but it's art.
The main baddie in Last House on the Left. Krueger, named after Freddy Krueger.
No. He wasn't named after Freddy.
Wes Craven, man. Think it's weird? Yeah, they probably named Freddy Krueger after him.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Joe Palado, one of the nicest people in the world, from Day of the Dead. One of the most evil characters in the movie, and one of the nicest, most accepting people I've ever.
Which is good because we have a lot of people in our film that I like to type cast against type. We have a gentleman named Flash, and he usually plays a big, strong, mean guy.
He's a stuntman,
Yeah,
big
he's a-
muscle-bound guy.
Yeah, so I had him play a very sensitive guy looking for his dog.
Yeah, he's great.
And I love it because, you know, it opens people up to ideas. They're like, oh, I've always wanted to do a role like this. I keep getting all these bad
All these
parts.
tough guy roles.
Yeah, and it's just like,
What's going on?
here, you're going to go play in the flowers. You know? Answer your question.
I apologize, I missed the panel, so someone may have already asked this.
Oh, it's
but,
okay.
So your film has already been in one film festival circuit. Are you putting it in another horror film circuit?
We're going to, after this weekend, we're going to expand to other states and other film festivals. Because the buzz around here is amazing. We sold out Bull Moose 3 times in less than a week, which was beyond our expectations. So getting a local reaction is amazing, but sending the film out, sending your baby out, and trying to get people in, you know, Arkansas or Florida to watch it and get their impression of it, that will really cement the deal for us to see if we made something that everyone will enjoy and not just people from the state of Maine, which we assume, you know, they know how much went into it, you know. That's the great thing. I love showing this movie to people and then being like, guess how much the budget was? People like, oh, maybe like $1,000. I'll be like, $100. $100. Mostly gas money.
Do you get a lot of donations to, you know, people saying, oh, I got this furniture that you can, this bed that you can tear apart and
Oh,
put have
Oh yeah.
a woman in there, have a woman in there.
Yeah, whether it be donations of locations or, you know, set dressings, things like that. We have a gentleman that helps produce our movies that literally has a boxcar on his property, which, you know, if you got something that's production value, we're going to use it. We're going to use it.
Happy accident.
Yeah, happy accidents. Be like, oh, where'd you get that? You know, I remember another director was asking me when we were screening Sleep Eater. He's like, oh, how'd you get there? How'd you get there? We just went there. We just went there. We went to the mall. You know, we went downtown. Oh, it's dark. Can you know, please come? No, people leave it alone. You know, as long as you're not, which we take pride in, we don't have a lot of crew. You know, some scenes, you know, I had Bill holding a camera for a reversal shot that I'm in. And as long as you know what you're doing, there's no reason why you need, you know, all these people standing around doing nothing. Especially if you're on the street at night and you know that's going to cause attention. Just go out there with camera, shoot the scene, and get it done.
All right, sir.
You're right, sir. Southern Maine, but he used to live up here in Bangor. We had mutual friends growing up. His music has been on, you know, WKIT, things like that. And he has a very 80s sound to him. He had never scored a horror film before. And I literally edited the movie, sent him a copy of it, and he mixed the entire dialogue with the music that he created. So there are points in the movie where someone will say a line and the music cues hits right there. And I think that's very important too, is matching everything up appropriately. But yeah, music is huge. And sometimes when people go out and they make a movie, they forget about sound and how important it is. And I will admit sound has been a downfall for me in the past. And as I move forward, I know certain things to do and make sure that happen. Because, you know, visuals are amazing, but unless you have sound to match it, you know, you're just looking at a picture, and you're not going to feel anything. So.
Did he do the Foley stuff too?
Some of the Foley stuff he did. Some of the Foley stuff I did, whether it be animal noises or an answering machine message, which I actually had my girlfriend go in the other room, call me on speakerphone, recorded it. No new messages. Slapped it right into the film. So, and things like that are fun because, like, you're just like, you know who made that noise? Yeah, that was me. That was me. You have no idea. Well, yeah, we have a dog. There's a neighbor with a dog, and I remember we filmed the scene, we got everything together, and I was like, Bill was walking down the hallway, and I wanted there to be a dog noise behind the door, so I went to one of the actors' house and had him put a dog behind the door, and I just filmed it with the sound and slapped it in there. Again, just things that you can do and just be creative with it, you know? Your mind's really the limit as far as that goes, so.
They say,
The dog noise.
we need dog noise, we got dog noise.
Oh, you got
Very
dogs?
vocal dog.
Awesome, awesome. You'll love Sleep Eater and see what happens.